Our preview continues for the Bad Boy Mowers for Atlantis. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Slasher U. I'm your host, Christian Rao, here with my co-host, Steve Feck, and we're going to break down UCLA taking on South Dakota State. This should be a fantastic matchup. UCLA has not lost a game yet. They completely obliterated Cal Poly. They beat UC Riverside, and they beat Troy in the recent outings, heading into South Dakota State, where their only loss is to ranked Creighton. And it was a fantastic game watching that one. That was the first ranked game of the season for anyone in college basketball, and they did not disappoint. Going into this game, I mean, right off the bat, you have to think about the three-point shot. That's exactly what I think about when I think of South Dakota State, and we are going to see that one without question in this one. They have some very fun, honestly, you could say seniors, sophomores, and freshmen on that South Dakota State squad. I really like what they got going on. I think we're going to hear a lot more about South Dakota State, not just this year. They're going to be in a tournament team. We're going to see them make their way. This is a team that won the whole NIT last year, but we're going to see them as a tournament team this year. And I think we're going to hear more about them as years come, because this squad has a lot of underclassmen that do a lot of great things with a lot of important minutes on this squad, Steve.
Yeah, and I mean, the foundation is built there. And what's exciting is that even though players get wooed out of South Dakota State, a lot of players want to come and play at South Dakota State. And if you're in that little triangle of Iowa, southern to central Minnesota, South Dakota, North Dakota, South Dakota State is a destination place. If you're a women's college basketball player that wants to get recognized, that wants to be able to play meaningful games, South Dakota State is now a destination. Yes. And I don't know that you could have said that 5 years ago, but certainly over the last several, South Dakota State has earned the reputation of being a tough out in any game. Now, as you mentioned, UCLA is 3-0. They were pressed a little bit by Troy in their game on Sunday. It was 95-83. But there was just too much charisma Osborne for Troy to handle. Yeah. And that's pretty much whoever's playing UCLA, there's too much charisma Osborne to handle.
Averaging over 20 points per game. Yeah, she's been stellar so far this year.
Yeah, she had 29 points, 10 boards, second consecutive double-double. They're shooting 42.7% from the field, and they out-rebounded Troy by 10, 59-49. But their play in transition and on fast breaks has been amazing, and they have a freshman in Kiki Rice that sort of had a hand in that over the last two games. I think she's kind of getting her feet under her. She's getting a little bit more confidence as we're going there. And that's a good sign. If UCLA can control the pace, especially in transition, UCLA is going to win many, many evenings. And again, they're in a conference with Stanford, so nobody's going to talk about a team like UCLA. But UCLA is like just got an immense team. They're going to be a fun team to watch game in, game out. South Dakota State outdueled Mississippi State, who really is kind of a sleeper in the SEC. They won 63-62 at home. Maya Sellen was great again, as she normally is. She had 18 points, 10 rebounds. They out-rebounded a very physical Mississippi State team quite handily, 45-29. So again, this game, whoever controls the boards is probably going to come out on top. It's going to be a close game. South Dakota State, they're called the Jackrabbits. So, I mean, they can play in transition. I don't know they're as athletic as UCLA is, but this is going to be a really interesting test to see. I don't want to say it gives you an idea of what seeding might be in the tournament, but I would imagine both these teams are going to make the tournament. I would think that South Dakota State would probably have a better shot at a little bit of a higher seed than UCLA in the long run. But this is going to be a fun game, and it's on Saturday, so it won't get lost, in the whole Stanford, South Carolina, and UConn, North Carolina State mix. It's kind of a standalone as part of that tournament in the Bahamas. So if UCLA can force turnovers and control the boards, I think they win the game. If South Dakota State cannot turn the ball over, as they did against Mississippi State. I mean, they had a lot of turnovers. The 21 turnovers converted into 24 points. They can't do that against this UCLA team.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you. And I also will say that this is a squad that can shoot the three-pointer. We haven't seen it as much as we would hope so far this season. If they can find a way to get it going, South Dakota State, I think, can win this game and hand UCLA its first loss. If not, and just like you said with that rebounding game, I could easily see UCLA going to 4-0, and we can be talking about them being ranked come Monday morning. So check that one out. It's the Bad Boy Mowers Battle for Atlantis. It's going to be at 2:30 Eastern time on Saturday.